Saturday morning cartoons, me reacting. This is Batman animated series. It's going to be a short one. I'm sorry, guys. My allergies are killing me. I got a cough. I'm battling this cough. It's going to be quick. So, Day of the Samurai. We are closing into the end of season 1, 60 episodes, but we are on now like 54. Day of the Samurai is a very, very smart episode. I was really thrilled that Bruce Timm personally kind of like took control of this one because I think he understands the need to kind of keep your finger on Bruce's training to become Batman, his history of becoming a ninja and having those elements to make him the Batman. Like if we lose sight of some of that, yeah, it was interesting. But he directed this because they didn't want to pay for someone else. But I think it really lent itself to doing a really good job. I think it really, really did. I don't know that I felt about some of the elements, but it was really good. So basically, the premise is Bruce basically gets called back to Japan. So we start with a student attacked by a ninja, kidnapped. There's a message left, and the message is for the Batman. So we've seen this guy before. He is back. That's right. So the roots and the history that Batman has with this ninja goes back to some earlier episodes, right? And I will say that Kyodai's ransom is very interesting, right? Because you have this sort of like secret maneuver tactic. What do you call it? Art style, fighting art style that is deadly. And it was stowed away because it was so dangerous. He wasn't even sure that he could trust himself. And it's like been passed down through lineage. But now the sensei doesn't have a son who's going to get it. And it's like a ransom demand. He calls in the Batman. Now, calls in Bruce, but he knows he's Batman, right? Alfred shows up, typical Alfred, like he's got to give a little bit of the. So Alfred is used the same way Jubilee was with X-Men. It's like he's sometimes used as a way of a reason to give exposition for the audience, especially for children, right? It's like, well, wait, you're not Batman. Right? We have to explain. Well, fighting styles are like mirrors. So he's fought me and he fought Batman, so he knows I'm Batman. So we have to spell out some of these details for the audience. This is, again, I think Bruce Timm, he really knew how to keep this episode tight. He did a really great job with it. I just really, really liked all that. So that's kind of where we get through. And this is almost like this is one of those episodes. It's a smart episode. Here's a little flashback we get before we cut to him getting ready. And there you go. So because he volunteers to take and meet to do the ransom. Here's the scroll and do the meetup. There's Batman. But what he ends up doing is he ends up throwing her over the side. She ends up going over the side. So Batman has to save her, and that leads to the fact that the scroll gets free because he has to save her. And then they kind of have a little struggle, and an explosion goes off, and he has to stay safe. Love that shot, by the way. That is such a beautiful homage to Batman Year One's cover. Oh, there's a graphic novel version of Year One. So anyway, so that's really good stuff. So let me see that you kind of have to move kind of quickly through. He gets the actual scroll, but it disintegrates in his hands, right? And Batman follows the same leads and gets there later. So basically, he went through all this, and he still doesn't know, but there is a piece missing, right? So the piece missing is presumed to be the deadly piece, the fatal move. So he's training, he's warned. There's all this, how is all this going to kind of come to a head? I think it's all done really very slow and methodical. I was, as this was playing out, and then before they come to their confrontation, I was thinking about one of the best Wolverine stories is is Wolverine the Limited Series by Frank Miller, and it's like the samurai story. It's him in Japan, it's him training, him learning. It's more methodical. It's not this, claws out berserker centric story. And here, this isn't a Batman uses gadgets. This isn't a Batman catching some crazy, megalomaniacal clown or penguin or whatever. No, this is a samurai, dude. This is a ninja. Samurai versus ninja are on sort of like full display. And this was a huge morality thing for my kids. The boys loved this episode. And I didn't even think about it until I watched it again. I was like, oh man, they would love to talk about ninjas and samurais and swords and Jedis. And they connected all these dots because of this episode. And until I rewatched it, I didn't even click. Anyway, so they end up doing this battle, and what they wanted to do was do this and then and raise all of this up and then figure out how do we eliminate this character, though, because we can't have this character know so much about Batman. Excuse me. And we also couldn't have this character have the scroll and the danger of the scroll being out into the world. So they end up doing this climax where it ends up being this backdrop of this volcano erupting, which just sets up some beautiful animation, as you can see. And of course, he doesn't make it out. He actually surrenders and goes with some honor. However, we don't see a dead body. So, if you don't see, you don't know. Yeah. So it's a beautiful episode. It's really, really good. I know I could or should spend some more time kind of dissecting this one a little bit, but bear with me. I'm really holding back a coughing fit. I apologize for that. So, but yeah, this was a really interesting one to set up the death, because they weren't really allowed to do that with censors. So they had to come up with this way. Bruce Timm had worked with Michael Reeves, who was integral in bringing this show to light. So they had to work out a way to kind of have it sort of like, off camera kind of thing, right? We can't show that. So that was definitely one of the rules they weren't allowed to break. So anyway, I love your thoughts as we're kind of winding down on some of the Batman and some of the episodes. So it'll be interesting to see maybe we'll do a wrap up episode, some of the best episodes or whatever. This is kind of a sleeper pick of being way better than I really kind of thought it was. I think it's really top tier, but it's still really, really solid. And that's what makes this show so great, is even some of the medium episodes are so superior to other stuff. They're very thoughtful, smart script in particular. So that's my take on it. Hopefully you're enjoying some cartoons. It's Saturday. It's always a nice time to be a little retrospective. Go back and watch an old cartoon or two. So thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I am Pops.